me now are Tom Bancroft and John Schafer, the directors of the new animated kids film, Light of the World. Gentlemen, nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah. All right, so what was it about the Apostle John that made you want to tell the story from his point of view?
The biggest thing for that is he was at all of the major events that happened in Jesus' ministry, and then he was the only one at the crucifixion. And also he was the youngest. And so we aged down our characters. They were teenagers, and the theologians, historians we talked with felt like they'd be teenagers. And so we felt he would be that perfect character to look through the lens of Jesus, through his eyes.
And in doing that, now we get to tell a story that's like a coming-of-age story. And that's much like the films I worked on in the 90s at Disney. It was Aladdin and things like that, where basically they needed to kind of leave the family and go off on an adventure. And that literally is what happened biblically, too. So we got to play with that, but also now kids can see themselves in John.
Okay, so you mentioned, obviously, both of you have a huge background in animation. So how did the two of you work together on this? And can you kind of explain exactly what a director of an animated film does kind of compared to a director of a film where we're seeing actual actors?
Yeah, it's a really good question because in animation, there tends to be two directors. And it's because the workload and how many people you have to now direct is hundreds at this point. And so it's a longer amount of time and more people, and they're all different departments too, because you're basically making one frame at a time. And so we have to go to the layout people and say, how are you designing the background for this one particular scene? And now it's in animation. How are you guys approaching this scene from the acting and performance standpoint? And so both John and I have different things that we're good at, I think. Yeah. And so we would kind of just tag team on every single meeting with every single group within that too, of the concept people to the animators. And that's really what's the difference between live action and animation, is that it's all happening at once on a live action set. In an animated film, it's happening pieces at a time with different groups that are really specialized in that area, like designing backgrounds or painting backgrounds or animating characters. So that's the biggest difference, is it's sort of like chopping up a live action set and spreading it out with a lot of different meetings.
And I think the other challenge we had is, from live action, you're talking directly to the actor, and you're giving them the motivation, they perform it, and there's your take. In animation, we go from the script. It goes through an interpretation of what the storyboard artist thinks those characters should be posed or their expressions. Then it goes to an animation team. And it's so many people to speak into that one performance, opposed to a live action director just directly talking to that actor. Here we are going through storyboards, we're going through animatic, we're working with the voice talent, who now they have to create the voice to the movements and directions we want, and then it all goes to animators. So many more people are involved just for that one performance.
Wow, that's amazing. So, John, I wanted to ask you about animation specifically from when you were younger, because I read that there was specific television series that was popular that inspired you with the Nativity scene. Yeah,
so back in 1973, it was the first time I'd ever seen Charlie Brown's for a Christmas episode special, and the part when Linus explains to Charlie Brown the true meaning of Christmas. That is the first time I had heard the word Savior, heard the word God. My mother's Japanese, so she comes from a Buddhist background. My father was Christian Science, so it was a different setup. And so when I explained to them, asked them what is the Savior, what is God, what is all that, they never gave me really an answer. And it's one of those ones that it was a seed planted in my heart, and it's something throughout I went on that journey. And I'd always thought to myself, when I did finally figure out what God, a Savior, relationship with Jesus is, I'd always thought if I had ever had an opportunity to work on a film about Jesus, that no one would ever have to question someone else, what is this? The movie we would make would tell it all the way through. And I think we really did that with Light of the World. And we just can't wait until the audience sees it, experiences it, in September 5th when it comes out in theaters. And I think the most important thing that we really feel about this film, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's heartfelt, but also it's very missional. It is one of those type of films that can be used as an outreach. You can bring someone, a family member or a friend or someone that you may feel uncomfortable to share the gospel with, but this is one of those fun movies you can take them to and let the movie speak for itself into their hearts.
An easy entry point.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the course of making the film, was there something that each of you learned about Jesus or came to appreciate about him?
One of our goals, and it's an eye-opener even while we're making the movie, was to say, we want to really portray Jesus as a friend. And it's so easy to kind of, when you just read the words in the Bible, read them without emotion, honestly. And we do that. We just consciously kind of go through it and put it all in the same tone. But like sometimes they're yelling. You yell a verse, any verse, and it has a totally different context. But you then say it very loving and be staring down at a young John, and put it in that context. And now all of a sudden, they're friends. And he's a friend talking to another friend. And being able to portray that, and even though I'm involved every step of the way, I look at our film and I just go, I'm just so proud of it. And it's been a life change for me. I can't go back to the Bible and read it the same way anymore. He's my friend, and I can see it in his eyes now.
And actually, that's kind of the same thing my takeaway is, just watching how John and their relationship developed between Jesus. And, because he does say that he calls us friend, but never seen it portrayed out. And when you've seen that, it is that friendship that we see with John and Jesus that I see myself with John and myself as John to Jesus, and so, yeah, it really is that. And I just hope audience takes away that he is approachable. He is accessible. He is there for you. And no matter how late in the game you are or in life or no matter what you've done, he is there. And that's what we really want people to take away with.
Okay, really quick for each of you, if there was one character from the movie that you could hang out with for a day, not Jesus, who would it be?
I'm going to pick John the Baptist, only because we had a lot of fun with him, making him a character that had a wild side. He lived out in the forest, but then also at the same time, he was very wise. Mm-hmm. And so he can be very kind of, say really passionate things that are very strong. And I just think he'd be a fun person to have a lunch with,
Yeah.
I would say Andrew, because he's just so unpredictable, so kind of adventurous and doing his thing. I think Andrew would be kind of pretty cool to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, I'm excited to hang out with them when I see the film. So, Tom, John, it was great to chat with both of you.
It was great to chat with you. And by the way, we're going to tell your audience that please go see it September 5th. And yeah, that's a big moment for us. And we just pray that everybody will come out and support the movie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.